Choosing a career is a tough task, but this young man always knew he wanted to be royal knight. When his father refuses to support him, he sets out on a dangerous mission to prove himself. This is the kingdom of Babylonian. It used to be the home of the bravest knights, but one day everything changed. The knights were kicked out of the kingdom and lawyers were hired to look after the matter of justice. Every day they make a new law and enforce it on the public. Many people are frustrated with this kind of life, and one of them is Justin. He is the only son of Reginald, the biggest lawyer in the kingdom. Reginald wants his son to become a lawyer too, and applies for his admission in a good law school. But instead of preparing for the entrance exam, Justin spends most of his time reading the stories of his grandfather Roland, who was known as the Knight of Valour. He gets called downstairs to have breakfast with his father. Reginald tells Justin that he doesn't even have to give the entrance exam as he is the son of the biggest lawyer. It will be an honor for any school to have him. Justin gathers the courage and tells his father that he wants to delay his studies for a few years as he always dreamed of becoming a knight. Reginald reminds him that the knights are outlawed now and they aren't needed anymore. Justin mentions his grandfather, but Reginald warns him not to talk about this again. He is going to be a lawyer and that's final. Poor Justin walks away without having breakfast and visits his grandmother. Justin tells her that he doesn't want to hurt his dad's feelings, but he wants to be a knight. The grandma tells him that when Reginald told his father that he wants to be a lawyer, Roland permitted him to be whatever he wanted to be. So Justin also has the right to choose his career. Justin agrees to pursue his dream. To become a knight, he needs a quest. Grandma tells him that his first quest is to find his grandfather's lost sword. She also gives him an ancient key and tells him to go to the Tower of Wisdom to get trained to be a knight. However, he needs to find the address to the tower as well. Meanwhile, a knight named Heraclio is plotting against the queen because she outlawed the knights. However, Heraclio is not using the legal ways and decides to take revenge from the queen by joining hands with the enemies. He hires a swordman named Sota to help the prisoners escape from the palace dungeon and form an army. Heraclio will use them against the queen. Back at the kingdom, Justin prepares to set out on his quest. He meets with his crush Lara and tells her about his plans. Lara is a spoiled rich girl who doesn't listen to a single word Justin said. She is too busy choosing her dress for an upcoming party. Lara accidentally throws a random sock at Justin, but he assumes that she is giving him a lucky charm, so he leaves giggling like an idiot. The next morning, he packs his things and runs away from his house. He decides to visit the Broken Eagle Inn, which is a historical place where heroes used to meet. Unfortunately, it has totally changed and become a regular restaurant. He meets the waitress named Talia and asks her about the wizards who used to hang out here. Talia seems to have no clue and tells Justin to choose something from the menu. Suddenly, two bulky guys get inside and start arguing with Talia. They serve as guards at the bar and often tease Talia. Justin steps in to help, but gets thrown out. He finds an armor and wears it to face the bullies. However, he fails again, but Talia helps him in fighting the bullies. Luckily, the owner walks in and stops the fight. Justin tells Talia about being the grandson of Roland, and she turns out to be a huge fan of him. The best help she can offer right now is introducing Justin to a wizard named Corelius. He seems quite weird, but makes a map for Justin so he can get to the Tower of Wisdom. Meanwhile, Justin's grandma visits the queen as she seems worried about the escaped prisoners. The enemies are planning something, but the kingdom is defenseless without the knights. The queen has finally realized that she made a huge mistake by outlawing the knights. After the rough journey of several hard days, Justin has finally reached the Tower of Wisdom. It's on the other side of the river, so Justin rings the bell to grab attention. An old man arrives in a boat and asks what he wants. Justin introduces himself and also shows the ancient key. The old man is actually an experienced wizard named Legantir who looks after the tower. He takes Justin to the tower and introduces him to the elderly monk named Braulio and a former knight named Blucher who used to be a close friend of Roland. They all are really glad to see Justin as it's been a long time since someone came to train to be a knight. They show him around the tower, and Justin also gets to see the legendary board game that has been played by generations. Braulio tells Justin to ring the bell to call Legantir, but Justin accidentally pulls the wrong string which makes the chandelier fall down. Luckily it stopped in time and the board game was saved. Braulio falls unconscious by the shock, but Legantir treats him with an ancient magic spell. While Braulio is resting, Blucher takes Justin outside to start the training. Despite being so old, Blucher is still really good at fighting. Justin can't dodge any of the attacks and also doesn't know how to aim. He definitely needs a lot of training and Blucher is willing to guide him. But Legantir is afraid for the boy. He worries that Justin will meet the same fate as his grandfather, and Roland's bloodline will come to an end. Meanwhile, at the kingdom, an overconfident guy named Cloxer claims to be a knight just to get fame and the attention of ladies. He visits Talia's restaurant and shows off his stolen armor. Talia gets really irritated by him and hopes that Justin returns soon as a real knight. Blucher has subjected Justin to hard training. He needs to learn how to dodge, shoot, and attack precisely even with his eyes closed. Justin might be young and naive, but his determination is really strong and that's why he learns really quickly. However, he still has a long way to go before becoming a real knight. He also spends some time with Braulio, who is always inventing weird gadgets. Justin accidentally breaks one of the gadgets, making Braulio fall unconscious again. Legantir scolds him for being so careless, so Justin apologizes and walks away with a sad face. He is missing his home and stays awake during the night signing his mother's favorite songs. Legantir arrives there, so Justin takes this chance to apologize again for causing trouble for Braulio. Legantir tells him not to worry, as it happens to Braulio quite often. It started when Braulio failed a very important experiment. Since then, his brain doesn't work properly and he often loses his consciousness because of small matters. There's another thing that is keeping Justin worried. He always dreamed of becoming a knight, but he never thought if he was brave enough for it or not. Legantir explains that if Justin wasn't brave, he wouldn't have dared to go against the whole kingdom to pursue his dream. This encourages Justin and he trains even harder the next day. Legantir admires his efforts and takes him to show a special place any knight will love. It's the Hall of Heroes, where the statues of all the knights are placed to honor them. Each of them was unique and was the essence of altruism and courage. Justin recognizes all of them, but suddenly he notices an empty place. Here was the statue of Heraclio, but he no longer deserves to be here. Legantir knows the actual reason for Roland's death and retells it to Justin. It happened when the knights were guarding the Wall of Rue, but the king died in this war. The queen was left alone and heartbroken after the king's death. She felt too troubled to govern. That was the moment when Reginald suggested that they should use the law. The queen relied on him to help her rule the kingdom. But every change brings more change. Oaths and deeds invaded every part of their lives. The queen believed this would bring an end to the kind of fighting that had killed her king. So, ignoring her heart, she signed the fateful decree and outlawed knights. All of them obeyed except Heraclio. He accused the queen of being weak and the lawyers of disrupting her power. He proceeded toward the queen and Reginald with his sword, but Roland came in the way. For the first time in history, two knights of the same kingdom fought each other. Roland succeeded in defeating Heraclio and took away his sword. Roland could easily kill him, but he hesitated to kill Othello, but Heraclio didn't, and he used Roland's sword to kill him. After knowing that Heraclio has the sword, Justin gets determined to get it back, but Legantir advises him not to hurry. Heraclio is an experienced fighter, while Justin has just started learning. He needs to train harder before avenging his grandfather's death. Meanwhile, Heraclio is teaching the escaped prisoners how to fight. He also needs a good amount of money to buy armors and weapons for his army. Sota has a plan for that. Lara's birthday party is near and her family is really wealthy. There are no knights to guard the kingdom, so Sota can easily kidnap Lara and threaten her family to pay the ransom. Heraclio gives the permission to do that, as he wants his plan to initiate as soon as possible. Legantir and Braulio are also getting the news of Heraclio's attack. The loyal knights are gone and the kingdom is undefended. No one is there to stop Heraclio, and there's not enough time to find more knights. Blucher wants to fight Heraclio, and Justin can help him. But Legantir believes he is not ready. When Blucher keeps insisting, Legantir decides to test Justin. If he fails, he must return home, as they can't put his life in danger. For this test, they choose a dragon fight. However, there's no more magical creatures in the kingdom, so Braulio brings a crocodile named Gustav, who is wearing mechanical wings which can be controlled with a remote. Justin struggles at first, but then he manages to get on the back of Gustav. He breaks the antenna so Braulio can't control it anymore. Justin succeeds in hitting the target, but now Gustav is totally out of control. He crashes on the tower and destroys several belongings of Braulio, including his legendary board game. Eventually, Justin succeeds in landing the dragon, but a lot of destruction is caused already. Braulio rushes to scold Justin, but only finds his lifeless body. Legantir performs the healing magic and makes Justin's heart bear again. Later that day, Justin stands before his teachers to hear the decision. With a heavy heart, Legantir says that Justin doesn't have the qualities to become a knight, so he should return home before he can leave. Blucher gives Justin a sword so he can defend himself if needed in future. Meanwhile, Reginald is scolded by his mother for stopping Justin from pursuing his dreams. Reginald must listen to his son and understand what he is thinking. Tonight is Lara's party, and Justin is definitely going to attend it. This is Reginald's chance to clear things with his son. Justin returns to the kingdom and goes to meet Talia. Though he has not become a knight, Talia admires him for trying. The guards attack them once again, but Justin defeats them with the fighting skills he learned so far. Talia helps him too, as she had gained some fighting experience from her elder brothers. She also resigns from the toxic job and gives company to Justin in this hard time. He wants to meet Lara but feels nervous, so Talia offers to accompany him to the party. The wizard Corelius also joins them. Justin was expecting that Lara would be happy to see him, but she enters the party with her partner Cloxer. Everyone is admiring the couple, while Justin is left heartbroken. Suddenly, Sota and his brothers break into the party and capture Lara. Justin steps forward with his sword to protect Lara, but gets hit by a dagger. The wound is small, but the knife has some poison on it, which makes Justin dizzy. Reginald arrives and grabs the sword to protect his son. Cloxer also hears the noise and comes to check what's happening. From his fake armor, Sota assumes that Cloxer is a knight, so he runs away in fear. Lara calls Cloxer a hero for saving her, but when Cloxer gets to know know how rich Lara is, he kidnaps her for ransom. Meanwhile, Justin recovers and decides to become a lawyer like his father. He gets in the carriage to reach the law school but notices a crowd on his way. Talia is there, too, who tells Justin that Lara is kidnapped again. Justin begs his father to let him go and prove himself. Reginald hesitates at first, but then he allows his son to be a true warrior. Talia accompanies him, too, and they take help from Carlos to locate where Lara has been taken to. She is kept in Heraclio's hideout, as Cloxer has joined hands with the enemies. Justin and Talia sneak in and fight all the guards in their way. Heraclio calls his own army, but Justin doesn't back off. The monks also reach there to help. Justin goes after Heraclio and fights him bravely. He reaches the bridge and finds his grandfather's sword. Justin uses it to defeat Heraclio and the evil guy falls off the bridge. However, Blucher has been injured severely. Carlos needs a true knight to perform the healing spell. He takes Justin's hand and the spell works, proving that Justin is definitely a true hero. After returning to the kingdom, a huge ceremony is held to honor Justin's services. Justin declines the honor for his father's sake, but Reginald signs the new law to allow the knights in the kingdom. Afterward, Justin takes the oath to always use his power for good. On seeing his fame, Lara tries to pursue him, but Justin chooses Talia, who always supported him. The monks have built a statue of Justin and also expanded the hall, as it's the beginning of a new age for new heroes.